collecting like terms. So as you saw previously in the video, like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. So for example, these terms are like. These terms are not like. They have the same variable, but they don't have the same exponent. That's x to the 1, this is x squared. Okay? So we're going to try to put together terms that have the same variable and exponent. For example, these two are the same. They both have x and y squared, x and y squared, they're both the same. Okay? So let's practice some here. We're just going to rifle through a bunch of them and go from there. So I'm going to use my highlighter to better demonstrate. So 6a, it's like with negative 3a. You need to make sure you get the sign in front in with your in together here. Okay, so 6a and negative 3a. So you could write 6a minus 3a plus 2b plus 7b, and then put these together. So that's going to equal 3a plus 9b. So those two go together. Okay, you don't have to write this middle line. If you can do it together, write it. But if you need this middle line, don't separate them. Keep them together so we keep flowing down. So now, maybe we'll just underline now. So M, right? Then I'll use green for the numbers. I'm going to circle those. Okay. And I have an N all here by itself, which is fine. Right? So let's put all the things together. So I have 7M minus 2M. And I have plus 2 plus 5 minus 6n. Now I combine my colors here. So I'm going to combine my blacks. 7m minus 2m is going to leave me 5m. 2 plus 5 is 7. And then the negative 6m is just there. Okay. So let's keep firing through these. So all we're doing is grouping the things that are like, and we're collecting them to make it simple. It simplifies, so we make it simple. So this big equation can be simplified into one small one with two terms. Let's do this one. I have x squares, and I go through and I look for all my x squares. I can change my color. Then I look for x's. Okay. There's my x's. I include the sign in it. And then I'm going to go green. I have my greens, which is my constants. And I can rewrite them. I have 6x squared minus 4x squared. I have minus x plus 8x. And lastly, I have plus 3 minus 9. So let's combine everything together here. 6x squared minus 4x squared is going to leave me with 2x squared. Negative x plus 8, so I think it was 8 minus 1, which is going to be plus 7x. And lastly, I have 3 minus 6 minus 6. There's my final answer there. Okay. Now, let's do this again. Where's my pen gone? So same thing again. Let's collect like terms. So I have p squared q. So I'm looking for another p squared q. I'm right here. Then I have this here, p q squared, to go together. Then I'm going to combine them. I'm not going to write the middle step this time. I'm just going to do it by looking at it. So 7 plus 11 is 18p squared q. And then p squared cubed minus 4. So 1 minus 4 is going to be negative 4p q squared. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. This one here, we have to do a little bit of distribution first. So what's in front of this? There's nothing in front of this, or a 1. If I multiply 1 in, nothing's going to change. So I'm just going to rewrite what we have already. Here, when I multiply it in, it's a negative in front, so all my signs are going to change. So if it was negative before, after I multiply in by a negative, all my signs are going to change. Signs. Plus 7. Then, let's go through and identify my like terms. So I have x squared here and x squared here. I have a x here. I have x here. And lastly, I have a constant and a constant. So let's put them together. Negative 3 plus 2 is going to be minus 1 x squared. 6 minus 3 is going to be 3x. And lastly, negative 9 plus 7 is going to be minus 2. So there's my simplified equation. Let's do another one. I'll make up one. So let's do 2 bracket x squared plus 4x minus 3 plus 8 minus 2 bracket negative 3x squared plus 4x. There we go. So lots to chew on here. First thing, let's do our distribution. Okay. So we're going to distribute here, distribute there. So 2 times x squared, there's a 1 in front of there. So that's going to equal 2x squared. 2 times 4 plus 8x minus 12. Now this 8 here is just alone in the, not doing anything. It's not involved with this. And it's not involved with this. So it doesn't change. I'm just going to bring the 8 down. I'm going to distribute this. Now it's a negative here, so be careful of your signs. 2 times 3 is 6x squared. Negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 2 times 4 is 8x. Negative times a positive, negative. Now, I have everything out of the brackets. I'm going to collect my like terms. So I'm going to go through here. I see my x squares. Oops. When I go through here, I see my x's. And then lastly, I see my constants. So now, let's put together. 2x squared plus 6x squared is going to equal 8x squared. 8x minus 8x is going to equal 0. So I don't have to write anything there. And negative 12 plus 8 is going to be minus 4. That's my simplified equation. Isn't it a lot simpler than this big thing, right? So there's how you collect like terms, and you can go on to your practice.